All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about something pretty incredible. A secret that's kind of hidden in plain sight was in the act of prayer. A secret that, if you understand it, could completely change everything.
You know that feeling, right? You finish praying, you lower your hands, and poof, a minute later, you can't even remember what you asked for. It feels like we're just going through the motions, praying out of habit, not because we really need something. It's like our words are just hitting a ceiling and bouncing right back.
But here's the thing. Our source for today makes this really bold claim. He says there's a specific way to pray where rejection is literally not an option. A prayer that will be accepted. So what on earth is this secret? Okay, so let's get into it. Why do our prayers so often feel empty? According to our source, the problem isn't with the prayer itself. No, it's something much, much deeper. And here's the first clue. It's that mechanical, almost robotic way we pray. We just list off the usual things, right? Health, wealth, success, but our heart isn't really in it. Why? Because deep down, we're not feeling that desperate, urgent need for those things. We're just checking boxes. So, if it's not the prayer itself that's the problem, what is? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. The source points the finger directly at our own heart. See, the real root cause is a kind of weakness in our faith. We've put our trust and reliance on, well, everything else. We rely on the doctor for healing, our job for money, our savings for security. We've basically outsourced all our needs to the world. And if you've done that, what's really left to genuinely, desperately ask God for? And this leads us straight to this concept of an idol. Now, when we hear that word, we probably think of statues, right? But that's not what we're talking about here. In this context, an idol is anything that gets in between you and a pure, direct connection to the divine. Anything that clutters up your heart. And what do these modern idols look like? Well, they can be our jobs, our social status, our money. It could even be something as subtle as our youth or our hobbies. Or, and this is a big one, that quiet little thought in the back of our mind that says, I earned this. I did this myself. When our hearts are full of all these other dependencies, there's just no room left for a real prayer. And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? A place is not decorated without cleaning it. It's so simple, but so true. Before you can fill your heart with that divine connection, you first have to clear out all the junk, all those idols. Okay, so this brings us to the absolute core of this whole secret. It's all about one word: helplessness. And I know what you're thinking, but we need to totally reframe how we see that word. Yeah, this right here just flips our whole understanding of weakness on its head. We think helplessness is about being a passive victim, just sitting in a corner and giving up. But that's not it at all. True helplessness, in this sense, is an active, powerful force. It's the state of desperately knocking on every single door because you have no other choice. It's a frantic, urgent search for help. And to really get a handle on this, our source uses this perfect analogy. Just for a second, think about your own home. Who is the most helpless person in the house? It's the baby, right? A baby is completely 100% helpless. It can't feed itself, it can't protect itself, it can't do anything on its own. And yet, despite that total and utter dependence, who's the real boss of the house? Who's the sultan? Who has the power to get everyone up and running at 3 in the morning? You guessed it, the baby. With just one cry, the strongest, most capable adults in the house become its servants. The entire household just pivots to meet its needs. This is the perfect example of how immense power is unlocked through a state of pure, recognized helplessness. So, and this is the crucial part, the power isn't in the baby. The power is given to the baby because it so fully accepts its own weakness, and importantly, it knows exactly which door to cry at: its parents. It's not trying to solve its own problems. Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we apply this incredible principle of powerful helplessness to our own lives? Well, the source lays out a very specific 3-part formula. A formula for a prayer that he says simply cannot be rejected. Now, this isn't just about asking for stuff. This is a very specific state of being. It's called the prayer of distress. Think about that phrase, the knife has pressed to the bone. It's that moment when you've tried everything, you've exhausted every single option, and you finally realize
There's absolutely no one and nothing else that can possibly help you.
And the formula for this prayer requires three things to be perfectly aligned. First is your kolen, which means your words. Your language has to be a genuine cry of desperation. Second is your halen, your internal state. Your entire being, your soul, has to be filled with this sincere, overwhelming need. And third is your tavren, your actions, your demeanor. Your very posture has to reflect complete and total humility.
You see, it's when these three things unite, when your words, your feelings, and your actions are all screaming the same message from a place of true helplessness, that's when the door opens. At that moment, rejection just isn't a possibility. I mean, think about that. This is a huge shift in how we think. It doesn't just change how we pray, it completely changes how we should look at all the struggles and hardships we face in our lives. So get this, the source actually says that calamities are not punishments, they're gifts. He calls them the whips of destiny that are literally designed to help us. They're there to strip away all those false idols we rely on, to force us into that powerful state of helplessness where we can finally, truly connect. And you know what? This isn't some abstract idea. It's a universal principle that you see everywhere in nature. The chick's recognized weakness makes its mother, the hen, brave enough to attack a lion. The lion cub's helplessness gets it food right from the predator's mouth. It's a law of the universe. True, expressed need commands a powerful response. So the big takeaway here is a total reevaluation of our challenges. It leaves us with a question, doesn't it? What if life's greatest struggles, the things we see as obstacles, aren't obstacles at all? What if they're actually invitations? Invitations to discover our greatest and most profound strength?